Welcome to Coach's Corner, Cat fans. I'm here again with Mike, as always. And this week we're going to review the Versailles game, preview the Marion game. I'm going to talk about a little bit about, I've covered lots of the support staff people and coaches. I've touched on all the coaches. So we're going to talk about a little bit about our roles on game nights as coaches with our headsets on, and how we kind of do things at halftime, and and how we're doing things on the sideline with the phones and things like that. But come to you with a bittersweet, I guess, taste in my mouth. Obviously, we had a exciting, a great game against Versailles, especially if you're a fan. But also, as you know, our quarterback Marcel, a blasting game. He did fracture his fibula, which is the support bone down like in the back of the shin, and so he's getting surgery this week, or today. Actually, today he's having surgery on this Sunday morning. We're doing it a little bit early this week, so hopefully they thought maybe 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm not sure what kind of break or that he can get back that quick, but hopefully he can get back. So. Sometimes we call these win losses. You know, we feel great about the win, but anytime somebody gets hurt, you know, we're hurting a little bit, and we've had our share this year. One of the things we mentioned Friday after the game, and really even before the game, we had talked about adversity, and we talked about resilience. You know, those adverse situations, and we've had a bunch of them this fall with Coach Brunswick and Coach Harmert. We've had several of our, we've had some of our players. They're with people having their parents having surgeries, or just lots of stuff going on with a lot of our team and surrounding the team. And so it's been a little rough. You know, Friday night we have, our starting long snapper from the beginning of the year, Troy Weigel, has not been able to play. He hurt his shoulder. Joggy Broering has, one of our starting safeties has been out for the last 5-6 weeks, and hopefully he can come back this week. Seth Stewart, our starting safety, weak safety, did not play the last couple weeks, so hopefully we can get him back. And of course, then Marcel being down. So we've had lots of injuries and lots of adversity surrounding our guys. Just keep hanging in there, and so somebody brought up the word resilience, so I thought about you just next guy, you step in there and play, next play, next week, and then help each other, right, through all these emotional issues off the field, and even on the field. Of course, now Marcel may or may not get a play again, and it's tough on these guys. Luke Sudoff, I forgot about Luke, got hurt 2 weeks ago, our starting fullback, so we're down to guys that aren't used to being in there all the time in our backfield. So a little bit bittersweet. So the game itself, the Versailles game, 35-34 in a thrilling overtime game. You know, we got off to a really good start and jumped on them 14-0, but Marcel got hurt early in the second quarter. And so Braylon Harlemer, we've given him a few reps in practice, not enough. But and he'll get him a bunch this week. Our true backup quarterback, Braxton Howe, he's been out all year with a back issue. Played a great game, his first JV game, and then really hasn't been able to play since then. So Braylon came in and just he of course, anytime you come in a situation like this, you're gonna make some mistakes. But man, he made some plays and just said, well, I'll give it a shot and see what happens. And so he did a good job, and several other guys just came through. Curtis Dewar made some early plays and some really good defensive plays. Blade Busher came in and he plays some wide. He's our safety, but he plays some wide out. But he even played inside receiver, which he normally doesn't do, and made about, I think he had a couple touchdowns and played really well. Evan Harlemer usually just plays offense. He came in, had 2 interceptions, and and 4, 5, 6 catches, caught the game tying extra point to get it into overtime. And then, of course, the O and the D line have just been real stable group without injuries, and the O, the D line, and the linebackers have all just played really well. So proud of our guys to hang in there, and like we said, the game itself, we got off to a good start, and then they came back, and there were a couple times there in that second half. It's like, oh boy, here we go. But we hung tough, and I guess the great debate: do you go for 2 or do you not go for 2? And you go back and forth and say, let's get this over with. Let's not lose it on the last play by going for 2 and not getting it. So you can go round and round, and sometimes it's just a gut feeling, I guess, by the head coaches. And obviously, if they score that extra point, then it looks like a great idea. But unfortunately for them, fortunately for us, we stopped them. So really exciting, fun game, and good for the Cavs. So that leads us to the Marion game. Both of us 9-0, and I guess at the beginning of the season, you don't really know or think about, hey, we're going to be undefeated going to that Marion game, but here we are, sitting at 9-0, and they're 9-0, and they have an outstanding team. Defensively, they're really, really good defensively. They have, I think they have 5 or 6 shutouts now, and just a bunch of really good football players, like always, and they've done the same thing for 20 years, very similar, same defense with some tweaks over the years as they've improved it. Just hard-nosed, tough, not overly huge. And, their D-line guys aren't big guys, but their linebackers are just good, solid, from 190 pounds to 215-pound guys that are just good football players. And then offensively, they have really spread the wealth, kind of like what we talk about, with 3 different guys carrying the ball, and the quarterback's a good enough thrower and runner to make things happen. So they're just a good balanced over the years offensively. They've been able to do lots of different things with different formations and spread you out one play and go 2 tight wing, eye backfield, which seems to be their mode of operation this year, to go 2 tight ends and just really run the ball down your throat. So great challenge for us for Friday night at Coldwater. It's a 7 o'clock start for the MAC championship, and then both of us will move on to the playoffs. We're Division 5 this year, and Marion is 6. And so we will not have to face each other again, looking down the road. But this will be a fun game and exciting. And whoever gets that 50-50 will be a happy person after the game this week. Let's see here. So I said in the preview that I was going to talk about a little bit about our roles on Friday nights. And so there's 7 of us coaches, and we all are on a headphone, and some of them are connected, some of them are not connected. A couple of them you can listen to both offense and defense. But if we just go down the list on defense, Mark is calling the defense, and so he's on the phone with Dan, and then Joe and Sooty and Key can all hear him. Dan is probably the guy who is helping him make adjustments as we fly, as far as X's and O's. Keenan, really takes care of his linebacker guys on defense and running backs, and he can substitute when he wants. And he also is working more with the defense during the games. So between Dan, Mark, and Key, those guys are really doing the defensive kind of things during the game as far as what to call. Joe and Sooty are the offensive and defensive line guys, so they're making all those adjustments. Hey, what plays, what blocking schemes is best for us at this particular time. At halftime, they'll go over with the O lineman. Hey, we're going to change this. We're going to do this, do that. Of course, with personnel, hey, let's get so and so a break. Big Evan and Big Will are playing offensive and defensive line out there all the time. So they're working on trying to get some breaks for those guys and making those types of adjustments. Corey and I Corey and I are always talking. Corey signals in the plays. I call them. Corey signals them, but Corey gives me some good suggestions, and we're talking constantly because Marcel was not playing defense. That was really nice. Corey could spend when we're on defense. He can spend time with the quarterback and look at film, look at the iPad on the sideline, and watch the plays. And of course, then Joe, he and I have been together long enough now that he always has some good suggestions for the offense of what to play and when to call them and things like that. Special teams, Mark runs the kickoff and kickoff return. Keenan does all the substitutions on kickoff or on all the special teams. So he knows, he has a list and right there in front of him, printout that says, hey, if so-and-so, if somebody gets hurt, who's going to replace that person? So he's on top of that really well. So that gives you a little glimpse of how we operate during the games, and just so there's 7 of us, but we all have our role, and so that gives you a little bit of insight there. Let's see here. So as we've already said, we're playing Marion this week. Two good football teams, historic football teams, a good, fun, respectful rivalry, and so the game's at home at Coldwater, 7 o'clock on Friday night.